friends, it's the first week of 2011. It's the 17th of January. I've been here on my balcony and I've been trying to wait for the rain to end. And what a week it was to come back to work. You know, we had the floods in Australia. We had all the talk that I started to try and decipher and understand on the nationalisation and the taking over of the foreigners not being able to buy into land. And then, you know, there's all this talk of the sovereign debt in Europe. But you know, what did I actually achieve and what did I do this week? Last year I made a big mistake. I came back to work and I went straight over to America on a course. We hired people. I thought there was planning in place, but there wasn't. And it pretty much symbolized the entire year. So this year I thought I was going to do something different. The very first week I was going to focus on planning, goals, setting up strategies as to what we were going to do for the year. And by doing that, we were going to build a solid foundation to make sure that we achieved what we wanted to achieve in 2011 and that we got the results. So I started off with my planning on Sunday last week. I had looked at my long-term goals. I've got a whole spreadsheet of where I want to be through 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, right through to when I'm 60 years old. I then broke that down into my SMART goals for 2011 and what I'm looking to achieve across all the different parts, the 7 different parts of your life. Something I learned from Hannes Dreyer, I then broke down my 49-day goals. So what am I looking to achieve between the 10th of January and the 28th of February, which is the first 7-week period for me. I then broke that down into my weekly goals. What am I looking to achieve for the first week from the 10th of January to the 17th of January. And then finally my daily goals and what am I actually looking to achieve. And each and every day I write down 15 goals that I'm looking, and they're the most important ones for this 49-day period that I'm looking to achieve so that I can hit my long-range goals and make sure that I get the results that I'm looking for, my SMART goals in 2011. Now, something that I think is very, very important there is I've also got my 3 power goals. I've told you about them, and that I write every day, every single day, and I focus on them as well. Once I'd done it from a personal perspective and I knew what I wanted, I also did it from a company perspective. And then on Monday morning at 9 a.m., I sat down with my team and I said, right, I don't want you to start working for the first 2 days. I want you to focus on what your goals are, what you'd like to achieve, and most importantly, how are you going to achieve those goals? And we'll have another meeting on Wednesday. So for me, that was my first lesson. It's all about planning, goals, and strategy. And as I say, we'll have to see if the results come. But I'm sure with building a solid, deep foundation, it's going to be a far more productive year. Certainly thought out. I know what the plan is. I know what the strategy is. And now it's only about implementing it. The second lesson for me is the 49-day mental challenge that Hannes has. I've tried it a couple of times. I've never properly committed to it. And I think lesson 6 or 7 says, you know, if you start something, you've got to finish it so that you build up your self-confidence and your perseverance. I've been doing that since Monday last week, and I've loved it. I'm actually, you know, I'm right the way through it now. I've done it every single day. It is quite time consuming, but I'm loving the lessons that I'm learning, and most importantly about understanding the mind within, which is what I'm truly looking to really achieve this year and conquer the mind within. I got a saying which I gave you already, but it really is, you know, fools try and conquer the world. Wise men try and conquer the world within. And I love that saying, and really it's going to be one of my mottos for 2011 as I try and understand myself so that I can conceptualize and come up with what I want and manifest and create what I want in my life. The next thing is the 4-hour work week. I've spoken about it. I broke my life down. I went through all the tasks and goals that I do. I started looking for a VA, which stands for a virtual assistant, and I started trying to work out what it is that other people could do for me. And just as a matter of interest, I found a number here in South Africa that range anywhere from about 150 Rand an hour to about 300 Rand an hour. You can get VAs in India that charge you only $10 an hour, which is, you know, roughly 70 Rand an hour. And there's a tremendous amount these people can do and help you so that you can focus on what you are most productive at, where you're going to get the maximum leverage on your time and ultimately get the best results. So I've very much gone into that. I'm quite new into it, but I'm very much into this whole virtual world and virtualization, and I'm really wanting to give this VA a try. And really with the 4-hour work week, I'm focusing on the principles and most importantly implementing them. Then a book that I would highly recommend, it's called The Big Leap. It's by Gay Hendricks. If you're interested, get hold of me and I can give you the details. But he talks about his zone of genius, and he says that everyone has them. He says there's 4 different zones that people operate in. The first one is your zone of incompetence. The next one is your zone of competence. The next one is your zone of excellence. And then finally you've got your zone of genius. And that's where work is not work. And I've spoken about this. It's everything you enjoy. And Hannes and I actually had a conversation. And Hannes said, when you're in your zone of genius, and he actually calls it the sweet spot, 90 to 95% of the time you're doing things that you enjoy doing. Imagine that. There's no work. There's no day job. You just do what you enjoy doing. You're living in your zone of genius. And the beauty is that you have abundance in everything, in your lifestyle, in your financial, in your relationships, and in your creativity. So I'm focusing very much on what my zone of genius is, but talking a lot with Hannes, I've realized that your zone of genius is not one thing. You have different zone of geniuses at different stages of your life. So for now, I need to determine what it is that I am passionate about right at the moment, and I'm working through a number of exercises really to determine that. And then finally, I've got my 3 power goals. I write them on my hand every single day. I told you what they were. And the last week, I didn't decide to bombard my clients. I know what it was like. I got a call from a salesman at 10 a.m. on Monday morning, and it really frustrated me. So I decided to leave everyone alone. But what I did start focusing is doing the action for my 3 power goals and getting that off. And you'll start to see this week that I'll start getting the results in terms of getting the action on the road for those power goals, because they're very, very important to me. One of the major challenges that I had in the last week was that committing to do Hannes's 49-day mental challenge, plus writing my daily goals, plus journalizing, plus doing the meditation and the affirmations, it takes a lot of time. On top of that, I've committed to do comrades, so I also have to spend a lot of time on the road training. And I'm finding it very difficult to do both of those things before the day starts and to still be productive in the day and have enough time to be productive. So that's certainly something that I'm going to work on. But you know, it's all about that self-discipline. And like it says in the Big Leap, he said you've got to do what is most important to you first. So I'm focusing on Hannes's mental challenge, and then I'm focusing on my exercise for comrades, and then I sit down, I plan my day, and I make sure that happens. It's been a challenge. Hopefully I'll be able to get to the bottom of it quickly. So ladies and gentlemen, that's my first week, mainly planning, mainly digging deep foundations so that this year can be a great year. And you know, my belief was last week it was all about preparation. This week it's turning up the heat. It's time to put 2011 on fire. I'm very excited about this year, and I want to get the results. And most importantly, I want to work with you, I want to help you, and I want to be able to be an inspiration to you to show you what's possible. So if you enjoy these videos, why not tell your friends and family about it? Connect to them. And if you want some more information about how you can actually get the skills and the knowledge and the strategies, go to the website businessbreakthrough.co.za. Hopefully that will keep you up to date and help you have a fantastic 2011. But that's all for this week. I look forward to chatting to you next week. Thanks.